Apologies if this is a little unconventional. I'm gonna have to Frankenstein these clips together just because I still couldn't get the audio and visual to work on my computer. So I'm recording on one device and looking at my PowerPoint and recording that on another. So again, I apologize if my eyes aren't here. My laptop is right here, so. This is the stages of interpersonal communication final. This is following the friendship of mine and Elizabeth Diggs. Elizabeth and I became perceptually introduced because she was a house down from me in one of the neighborhoods I moved into as a kid. I was moving around a lot as a kid, and so for me to have a friend, especially a long-term friend, was really unusual. I saw her mom spray painting a planetary project in her yard. When I went to school the next day, I realized it was her project in one of the other classes. So when I saw her outside one day, I introduced myself, and we played outside like little kids do. This was when the two of us were 9. Slowly, it moved into more interactional contact in which the two of us began to know each other better, and we met each other's families. And slowly, that started to trickle into more involvement. Eli, which is her nickname, and I became closer as we began to hang out more often, to have sleepovers. As a kid, my parents were pretty strict, so she was really the only person whose house I could stay at. It was at this point where I began getting closer with her family too, and I really felt like I had a family within her own family. Because we were kids, testing at this stage involved inquiry about favorite bands and TV shows or sports. Eli and I both played softball, and it was then I learned that Eli actually had aspirations of being a professional athlete. So as kids, testing is a little bit more low-key. This is Eli and I on her 10th birthday, celebrating in Nashville. Intimacy. In 7th grade, I moved houses. She followed shortly after, moving even further away. We still kept in contact and talked really often. I actually ended up moving to the area she went to school in, and so we actually ended up going to school together for about a week. Because after that week was over, her and her family were being deployed to Italy. So she moves to Italy, but we keep in contact. And as we get older, we begin to become closer, and we share more personal details in the interpersonal commitment phase. We refer to each other as best friends. We called and texted often. And a good example of us socially bonding, we would post screenshots from FaceTime calls, or we would even post photos of times we'd seen each other together. She stayed in Italy for 2 years, and afterwards her family was deployed to Kansas. I have family in Kansas City, Missouri, which is about 2 hours from where she was located in Kansas, and so I did get to see her. We posted pictures, and they came by again to visit before being redeployed to Germany. So she does her senior year of high school in Germany, and at this point we're still talking very often. We're getting even closer. This is a picture of her and I in Kansas City on the left, and on the right is a picture of her and I in our hometown in Tennessee. So the friendship begins to deteriorate by senior year. She moves numerous times, and I'm still living in her hometown. She decides to go to college in her hometown college, and I decide to go to college in Florida. So I begin to experience interpersonal dissatisfaction when she moves back the summer before college. We hung out a couple of times, but it was really obvious that she and I have just kind of grown in different directions. She reconnects with some of the people back home that have some old or racist views, and seems like she's above everyone else. On one occasion, she referred to my boyfriend as someone who talks black, and when I responded to that, when I told her that I felt as if that seemed microaggressive, she just stood by what she said. It really made me lose confidence in our relationship and confidence that she was the kind of person I wanted to continue spending my time with. So that's kind of when our relationship begins to enter interpersonal deterioration, and it begins to deteriorate. This is more pictures of us hanging out when she had moved back home. So it finally dissolves. I just feel as if we grew into different people. She slowly began to look more and more like, and I mean that metaphorically in the terms of look, she slowly began to look so much more like the people that she was hanging out with, and she began to hold views similar to them. The two of us don't really talk much, despite her still living in my hometown, and we certainly don't hang out anymore. She became roommates with somebody I went to high school with who was notoriously bigoted, so I just haven't made efforts to see her. Interpersonal separation for the two of us wasn't exactly concrete. We never really spoke about it. We just kind of let our friendship take its natural course. And although I still wish good things for her, she's no longer really the kind of person I choose to surround myself with. But we don't really practice social separation actively, but we certainly make no effort to water dead plants. And so that is what I would conclude as my... There's the button that goes off because I have no idea how I'm going to Frankenstein these together. Again, apologies if anything is if the verbiage is off. I'm so sorry, I can't think of the word. If the sound is not connected accurately to the presentation, I do sincerely apologize. I'm going to do my absolute best to Frankenstein it together as best as humanly possible for a girl with zero IT skills. But that has been my project. Thank you very much.